Welcome to Clocking In, Forces of NC Manufacturing. I'm your host, Phil Mintz, Director of the North Carolina Manufacturing Extension Partnership, otherwise known as NCMEP. My role is to drive outreach to NC manufacturers, build relationships to federal and state leaders, and coordinate efforts to drive profitable manufacturing growth in North Carolina. Throughout my time working closely with manufacturers, I have heard the most quirky, curious, and memorable stories. I wanted to turn these stories into a podcast so that others may hear and be informed and inspired. From humble beginnings to manufacturing titans, from tragedy to triumph, I will be interviewing some of these manufacturers who have made North Carolina manufacturing the powerhouse that it is today. In today's industrial landscape, the demand for specialized fabrics tailored to unique applications has never been greater. From heavy-duty manufacturing to advanced technological fields, specialized fabrics play a crucial role in ensuring efficiency, safety, and innovation across a wide range of industries. These fabrics are engineered with precision to meet specific performance requirements, whether it's withstanding extreme temperatures, providing electrical conductivity, or offering chemical resistance. Located in Kings Mountain, North Carolina, STI Fabrics, also known as Specialty Textile Industries, is a leading manufacturer and supplier of specialized fabrics for various industrial applications. With a rich history spanning several decades, STI Fabrics has established itself as a trusted provider of high-quality textile solutions tailored to meet the unique needs of diverse industries. I'm sitting down today with Jacob Englert, Senior Vice President of Operations, and Matt Maple, Senior VP of Product Development. Englert graduated from Appalachian State with a bachelor's degree in Business Administration and Management. Matt has been an electrical and biological specialist in the U.S. military, among other things, he says, and we'll find out more about that. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing well today.
Yeah, it's always interesting to find out everybody's path to where they are today. I mean, I know that you know, I'd like to start with you, Matt. You talked about you've done several things to get there, but how did you end up at STI Fabrics?
Well, it's interesting. My boss, the COO currently, we went through a vast capacity expansion in 2015 after the launch of Revolution Performance Fabrics. That's our branded 100% performance polypropylene-based fabric, which generated a massive amount of business. So we went into capacity expansion, so he needed some assistance with that. So my background in aircraft mechanics and different other roles that gave me a broad overview about how to accomplish such a task. So I came in and worked with our maintenance superintendent and all those personnel, different vendors, different suppliers to put in brand new equipment and then qualify the processes on all that equipment over probably the first 3 years of my career. Then I moved into process improvement and then really working with suppliers and vendors of our raw material, which made me extremely familiar with the product itself. So from there, I just dug in and became an expert, really, when it comes to polypropylene use in fabric.
Jacob, what about you? How did you get there?
So I took an internship out of college in textiles for a circular knitting company. And then after that, I kind of just stayed in textiles and moved my way to STI.
All right, so talk about what makes STI Fabric special.
Outside of the people?
Yeah. What do we use them for? I mean, who do you sell to? What would I find in STI Fabric?
STI, what we pride ourselves in is control of the entire product. All right, so we work with our vendors for the raw material and the specs of that. And then from there, we control the engineering from beginning to all the way at the end. We don't outsource any part of our process at all. And the fact that we don't use any topical chemicals that are harmful not only to human beings but the environment in general. We had giving credit to our CEO, had the foresight to know where legislation was going to go one day, to know that we needed to make an inherently cleanable material that doesn't need harmful chemicals added to it. So that really spoke to our success in the launch of Revolution, and that's been about 10 years now.
And so the Revolution product does what?
It is 100% polypropylene-based fabric. Some polyester is involved, but it is bleach cleanable, again, without the use of any type of resistant chemical on the top of it. So immediately you can feel comfortable about laying your brand new newborn baby down on it without worrying about anything that was put on it from a manufacturer. It's inherently antimicrobial as well, and we have a lot of beautiful fabrics made out of a material that took a long time to gain a reputation for performance in the market.
So what do people use the fabrics to make?
For indoor furniture upholstery and outdoor. We have an awesome outdoor line that's really gaining a footprint in the market, but we have some strategic customers based all over the United States, some in Canada, some in Mexico, and we're just now getting into some exports into Asia as well. 100% for indoor furniture upholstery use and outdoor furniture upholstery.
Is it customized, or would I be able to find your fabric on a piece of furniture if I'm just shopping?
Yeah, if you shopping the right customer, that's right. Yeah, you go in, they have a swatch catalog of everything that they buy from us, and you're able to customize your piece based upon what you think, whatever would make you happy, I guess.
Yeah. So Jacob, talk about the way it's being made. I guess you're over the operations, or talk about what you guys do in the factory to make this fabric and how people are involved in that.
Constantly trying to adapt, especially when it comes to the people and the culture. One of the things we're doing is trying to implement a lot more new technologies. Constant adaptation, that's what I say.
Yeah. So I mean, do you run automation now? Do you have a lot of technology involved in making the fabric? How is it made?
As far as processes
Yeah.
go, I mean, I think you hit on a couple of equipment. If you want to go through that again.
Yeah. So what we use is we're a flat woven mill. Okay. So we control our sectional warping into flat woven goods, and then all of the fabric finishing from there, which is a 3-stage process downstream of weaving. So flat wovens is how we make our fabric.
So talk about some of the challenges you have with making your fabrics these days. Textiles is an interesting area. I mean, there's you got to really have a really good product, as you know, and you got to have something special these days. And so, what are the challenges behind developing and maintaining fabric operations these days?
One of the biggest things that we're looking at right now is controlling creativity versus viability, I would say. Like, we can do everything, we can do anything. The question is it the right thing to do? And the consumer is dictating our direction going forward, and we don't want to outpace them. We want to have our own ideas and what we see taking our business to, but at the same time we want to satisfy the consumer, and we want to simplify our process enough to make it efficient to where we are competitive at every level, from lower price goods to high price as well.
Does the textile market that you're in, I mean, is it vulnerable to things like supply chain disruptions like everybody else, or?
Very much so. But one of the best things about us is when we decided to do what we did when it comes to polypropylene was to solidify domestic partnerships that even through the tough times proved themselves to be strategic partners, and we were able to come out on top on the other side of all that.
Yeah. So. We're talking to Matt Maples and Jacob Engler of STI Fabrics in Kings Mountain. So what's the environment like in Kings Mountain? How many people you have at the factory?
262.
262. Yeah. That's a lot of people there. So how long have you been there?
In Kings Mountain itself, a continuous operation since 1964.
Oh, wow.
It's changed ownership, I think, 3 times. But the current ownership has been in place for a long, long time. Right now, I can't even give you an exact date, but a long time.
Yeah, these days it's pretty fascinating for a textile company to have been around that long.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think the reason why that is?
Kings Mountain is somewhat set apart from other places that have, that looked at textiles as a dying industry or a black eye type of. Kings Mountain is still a place where, there's family ties, family roots, people that are willing to stick in. Loyalty is still there, and they also see us continually growing. We don't like to look at ourselves as a fabric maker. We like to look at us as a composite type of manufacturer. So there's interest amongst our floor employees to see what we do. It's not just a day-to-day routine. They get to see the styles change. They get to see how our market is. They get to see our successes and failures.
Wow. So in that light, I mean, you've been around a long time. You have deep into the community. I mean, how are you growing your workforce, or what's the future of your workforce, and what does that look like now?
Constant outreach. So especially being involved in the high schools. I think Sandra's talked to you before about our release program through GCC.
So you're constantly working on that?
Always, yep. Always trying to adapt, always trying to stay relevant.
That and retention of the key employees right now is huge for us too. That we've got a skill set in there that, you can't ever look at anything as irreplaceable, but we like to think of it as, okay, let's build around those types of people. Let's bring in people and put them underneath those wings to show them that if you're willing to stick with us, this is a great career to have.
So again, Textile Fabrics, and like you said, you have to keep constantly developing it and moving it forward. I mean, do you have ideas of where the industry's going? I mean, do you see growth there, and where's your future look like?
China is still always going to remain a wild card when it comes to textiles right now. Without some type of legislation coming in and regulating, tariffs and import penalties, everything. Right now, they can flood the market and make us have to get extremely cost effective to compete. Mm-hmm. We have done that. We're proud of everything that we're doing, and there will be another side to that. So, yes, I do see an extreme amount of growth. I know that there's a lot of pressure on the consumer itself. We may see some relief as far as pricing and supply chain constraints may be easing a little bit, but the downstream consumer is still feeling the pressure of inflation. Mm-hmm. So we are navigating that circumstance as best we can and producing products that are going to be cost effective for every level of consumer once that inflation pressure relieves.
So looking at it broader, I know it seems like you're a really good big player in your market. I mean, is there other competitors in the States, or is China really the key competitor for you?
It depends on who you deem as domestic competition. There are other manufacturers who fill holes that maybe we don't, and vice versa. Uh-huh. But when it comes to capacity and ability and versatility, yes, I look at China as our main competition.
Wow. So are you just based out of Kings Mountain? Do you have other plants and other sites in other areas?
We have a warehouse in Mississippi. For the most part, we're in Kings Mountain, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, again, we appreciate you sitting down and talking with us a little while to learn more about STI Fabrics. I didn't even know it was even there.
You need to come visit us sometime. We're pretty proud of what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just amazing to see, what we're doing in North Carolina. We're glad to have you still in our state, and we look forward to talking to you more. Thank you for joining today's Clocking In, Voices of NC Manufacturing. This podcast is brought to you by NC State's College of Engineering, the North Carolina Manufacturing Extension Partnership, and Industry Expansion Solutions. If you'd like to learn more about the solutions NCMEP offers, go to www.ncmep.org. Want to listen to previous Clocking In podcasts? Go to ncmep.org/clockingin.